Crazy dog. Alright guys, so this whole series of building this here John boat started a couple months ago, and it is now complete. I've had it out 3 times, broken in the motor, caught a few fish, had a couple of good times, took the puppy out. Someone had asked me to maybe describe it by going over the whole boat all in one video, so they can kind of see everything all at once, because the playlist is long. It's got 43 videos. So got my little boy Winston there. He's going to help me out. So I'm just going to start up in the front or the bow, whatever you prefer. So basically up here we just got nice and simple gigging light, or for if you want to drive at night down the river, that'll light up pretty much a couple hundred feet in front of the boat. Navigation lights. I custom retrofitted a transom mount trolling motor that I had already, instead of buying a new one with the big foot. Really didn't need that, so I made a little custom mount for this, and you know, haven't had any problems with it. It worked perfectly. I'll have a video of that coming soon that you guys can see. When you sit here in this bicycle seat that swivels, I believe these were the 12-inch bases with the 12-inch riser. And this is down. I'll show you how that works. Bring that down. Pull that out. And it's that simple. So when you're sitting in this seat right here, you can reach down, you can kick that, you can grab it with your hand, super easy, control everything. We had to take the head on this and spin it around because it was a transom mount, so the head was the wrong direction, so I did that. So now it pulls it forward. That sits about 3 or 4 inches under the surface of the water, so it doesn't chop it all up and make a lot of noise. It's very quiet. All the decks on this boat are high-grade exterior plywood, the best I could buy next to marine plywood. I don't like marine plywood because it's pressure treated and it's toxic, and I have a puppy that's going to be on the boat. So I encapsulated all of these decks that I built with 2 layers of marine fiberglass resin from Total Boat. So basically the console is built the same way. It's built out of the plywood and then it's fiberglassed. These decks here, and these decks are all removable. So basically they're not bolted in or screwed in, so if you want to take all this stuff out, like say for the winter, or for whatever reason they add anything, you can just unbolt that console. This deck will come out right there, this one here. You just kind of grab it on the edge, lift it, and you can run wires and you can run more stuff underneath if you need to. So up here we got a nice seat. This is where whoever's with me rides. Got a nice safe place to keep their feet in the well here instead of this being all a deck. I did not want to build this all as one long deck for multiple reasons. So let's start with reason number 1. It's tippy. This is a 36-inch bottom John boat. If the whole boat had this deck like this all the way back there, anyone up here is going to be very, very wobbly and very tippy. So we went ahead and just basically kept this at the deck level, and that also gives a person a place to put their feet, and it gives us a place to put our speakers for our stereo when we feel like cruising instead of fishing. So I put 2 rod holders in here that are sealed. These are angled outward, so these make great trolling rod holders. They'll be out on an angle, and we like to troll down the river sometimes. It's a really good way to fish for a lot of different types of fish. So basically I have those up there for the person in the front. This is a simple lift up deck. You can see the shininess on it. That's the resin encapsulating the wood. This I just framed out underneath, sort of to support the deck, which it really didn't need because this supports it. And then we added the lithium ion battery that through that wire runs the front trolling motor. I put in a 1000-watt Scar amp, 2 of Scar's best marine speakers. Got my anchor, got 2 anchors, got an extra life preserver in there, and all of my wiring has been professionally done by me. It's what I did for years, still do, and that is all marine grade wiring, all done professionally. That'll last the lifetime of the boat. This wood is pressure treated 2x4. Oh, and the dog ate something. What did you eat, ding dong? Puppies. So I just, as you can see, I just framed a piece here, built this top like so. That is encapsulated plywood screwed onto a 2x4 piece. I pulled this carpet up right here the other day to do a little work, so don't mind that. Then I screwed this piece up front to that aluminum sort of deck or whatever you want to call it there, and that makes it very sturdy, and none of this rattles. I've been through some waves and it does not rattle. Around the battery I put some of this waterproof padding around it, so it sits in there nice and tight. It doesn't flop around. And where the base of the seat comes through, I just put a nice brace right there to take all the weight for whoever sits in there. It's not pushing down on the deck the whole time, it pushes down on that. Everything is done with marine grade stainless steel hardware, as you can see. So we didn't build this like most boat builders build with the cheapest possible. We built it with the best possible. That wire is running the light up front, so we got that harness under there. So this chair, in addition to being where someone sits, has a quick release under here. So all you have to do is push that up and this slides off. Just like so. And I got one of these old guys off my canoe. Built a little platform here out of pressure treated 2x6s wrapped with carpet. So that basically is going to be a permanent solution for this seat. But if I ever want to take this seat out for whatever reason, storage in the winter, it can just pop off of that. And then it pops right back on. Just like so. So I've got my Helix 5 fish finder that came out of my canoe. My YouTube channel has a canoe build series as well. I built a custom canoe earlier this year to use on the river. Then discovered there's too many alligators and the river is too treacherous for canoeing, so I built this. So we got 6 switches over here for a variety of accessories, lighting and stuff. The stereo, turn the power on and off. This conceals a panel of wiring underneath. It's all done with high-grade marine wiring and marine components that fuse and properly connect everything to the boat, to all the accessories. The Suzuki came with the controls, so that is what that is. This seat is basically one of the Wise seats with the swing back that I took the swing back off of because it just gets in the way and I don't really need it to lean back on. It conceals another 3-gallon fuel tank, all of my little tools and some stuff that I might need if anything breaks. Right here we've got a fire extinguisher and another life preserver under there. This is all sealed too with a nice gasket, which is good, so if it starts raining that stuff doesn't get all wet. Got an oar over there because you always have to bring an oar. So this is a hydraulic steering from Vevor off of Amazon. The wheel didn't come with it. I like this smaller wheel. This is a lot smaller than your normal wheel, and as you can see it fits perfect on this boat without being too big. So I added that to the Vevor instead of buying the Vevor that came with the wheel that was probably 4 inches bigger. So that works really good. This is hydraulic steering. I've got 6 rod holders under here for trolling or just storage. This deck is screwed down because it is kind of a little more to the point where, you know, if you hit some waves this might start bouncing, so I just screwed it down with stainless steel screws. Got a big marine battery in there, and that runs the motor and it runs the accessories on the dash. This big guy right here runs the stereo and the bilge pump, so all my high load things are all running off of this lithium, and then everything else runs off of that, while the trolling motor up front runs off an identical lithium battery. Got a switch, a breaker. It's all wired professionally. I made all my own battery cables. That's the way you keep your boat lasting for years. This is the 3-gallon tank that came with the motor. You can see the hydraulic steering right here, the Vevor. I actually left the sticker on it, I don't know why. But I did a unique way of mounting the cables instead of coming from the side, since there's not a lot of room for them to move. We got our dock lines tucked up under here. This is the bilge pump, where it pumps out straight down. It's short enough where it won't siphon water back in. There it is down there. The hydraulic steering is very, very nice to have on a boat like this because you can steer it effortlessly. As you can see, it just steers like butter. You can steer it with one finger. So when you're maneuvering around in some of the little creeks around here and stuff like that, it comes in handy to be able to spin that wheel real quick and real easily. The Suzuki 20 is EFI. It has power tilt, so I can tilt it from up there. I can trim it while I'm driving. It's got the stock propeller on it. Runs about 25 miles an hour tops right now. I could put a new prop on it and it might do almost 30, but then it won't have a good hole shot. So basically this motor is a 2023. It came from Online Outboards. It was a $5,000, $5,100 motor. They sold it for $3,400. So when I took my fish finder off of my canoe, this was the apparatus that I had on the canoe that held the drop on for the fish finder, and I just reused it and just sealed the holes where I put screws through. All my holes down here are all sealed with marine epoxy so they don't leak. Hey, what you doing, puppy? That sneaky snake, he's been with me all along. He's been with me for 20 years or so in the backyard. You can see that the console's got a nice carpet on it, very soft. Anything you kick, you know, all these edges are all soft. And I don't keep the seat bolted down. It weighs probably 60 pounds with everything in it, and it does not move. So why bolt it down? Why screw it down? So basically that is it. That is the Jonboat. It was a lot of fun to build. I haven't built a Jonboat in years. I've been doing some pontoon boat stuff. I've worked on probably hundreds of boats in my lifetime. I've been a marine mechanic my whole life, an auto mechanic. So it was a no-brainer when I looked at the price of one that was already built from Bass Pro Shops that wasn't even nearly as cool as this. It was a no-brainer because this came in about half. This came in right around $9,000 for everything. And so the one from Bass Pro Shops that rigged up like this, I priced it out. It would have been close to $17,000 or $18,000. And Bass Pro uses a very nice trailer. I'm real happy with it. It's got a great coating on it. I'm not sure what type of paint it is, but it's real rugged, like almost like a undercoating. It's got some nice wheels and tires on it, decent size. They're not real cheesy fenders. It's real easy to drive onto the trailer. If you guys watched the video of me taking it out last time, it goes right on and off the trailer real easily. And this trailer is super light. So another key to all of this was I don't tow this with a big truck or anything. I use an HHR. Woo! I use a Chevy HHR, which is a tiny little car if you all have ever seen one. So basically, my HHR tows this thing. I get 28 miles per gallon, going 65 miles an hour, towing this boat with my HHR. So I don't think anybody could get that kind of mileage pulling it with even the lightest pickup truck. So that worked out great. I just had to put a fancier hitch on my HHR than it had. So basically, all in all, this was a real winner of a project. I've got a playlist of over 40 videos. If anybody has any questions, feel free to comment on whatever video you're looking at, or just comment somewhere generally and I'll see it and I'll help you out and answer your questions, tell you where I bought stuff. Most of everything on this boat, I would say 90% of everything on this boat came from Amazon. The boat trailer and the motor are about the only thing on this boat that did not come from Amazon. So you guys that are wanting to build something like this and you're thinking about, oh gosh, where do I get all the stuff and where do I get all the parts and how do I put it all together, just go on Amazon. And I'm gonna also make up a list of all my purchases from Amazon, so you guys will see a list of all the parts and all the materials that I used to build this, so you can price out one of your own. So basically that's how it goes when you build a Jonboat. You know, you can spend as much money as you want. You know, it all depends on what your budget is. It all depends on what you're comfortable building and, you know, your uses. You know, I like a center console. I don't like to sit there and twist my back the whole day, you know, trying to steer that motor. I'm 220 pounds, so if I sit right there and I drive this thing, the back end is just going to be sunk in the water with that, you know, with that fuel tank and a battery. So now it's perfectly balanced. Now when it skims across the water about 25 miles an hour, it's perfectly balanced. And you know, it just comes from building boats my whole life. I kind of learned that lesson with tiller boats. Tiller boats, you have to put a lot of weight up in the front, and that means batteries, that means gear, that means fuel, and that can be expensive, running fuel line and wires and all that stuff from the front all the way to the back. So I invite you guys to try to build your own. You know, go to Bass Pro, grab you up one of these boats. It's a stripper, comes with the trailer. I think the boat and the trailer together were $2,700. The motor, like I said, was $3,400, and everything else brought it up to right under $9,000. So I appreciate you watching. You know, like, share, and subscribe. I'm almost at 1,000 subscribers. Every little subscriber counts now, because when you get close to 1,000, that gives you hope that you might be able to, you know, grow the channel and monetize, or, you know, just reach a whole lot more people and share what you're doing with them. So that's going to be the key. What you doing, boy? You ready to go again? He's ready to go fishing again. He had a lot of fun the other day. All right, guys, I appreciate you watching. Peace.